Lalit Modi, I began the news hour tonight by saying that it's possible, only two possibilities. Either Lalit Modi is lying or Gurunath Mayappan is lying. Either Lalit Modi is lying because I think you put up some pictures out there on your Twitter address, Twitter handle. Though I'm not on Twitter, I know that you put out some pictures on your Twitter handle of passes. One of the passes is with me of Gurunath Mayappan, Chennai Super Kings owner, team owner pass from the year 2008. Now there are only two possibilities, Mr. Modi, that you were part of the Srinivasan gang, which is why you were soft and you allowed non-owners into the team dugout, in which case you are the person who's made the mistake, willingly, or Gurunath Mayappan is lying.
I can't hear you.
Which of the two options is true?
Hello?
Lalit Modi, can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me, Lalit Modi?
You're fading in and out, but I can hear you now. You have said what are the two options that are true, whether I'm a liar or Mr. Gurunath is a liar. First and foremost, you got to understand that I have 100% of the documentation as far as IPL is concerned when I was chairman of the IPL. And when we issued passes like this, the passes were issued only after the team owners would send us their list of the likely owners, of the owners that are going to be present at the games, and we have the documentation. I just put out the photos of the passes because it's self-explanatory, but if I'd be happy to provide all documentation and put them all out there to the public of how the process is followed.
No, so you write in your tweet, India Cement new claim that Guru is not team owner is because the franchise ownership will be cancelled. It's a fraud, you say. Right? You're saying it's a fraud.
Correct. There is a rule. There's a rule of the IPL which all franchisees have signed on to. Rule 2, subquote I, to operate the franchise and to manage the team in accordance with the laws of the game, all legal requirements, including without limitation as regards health and safety, and the regulation not to engage in any activity underlined or practice which may reasonably be anticipated to result in public criticism or to reflect badly on the BCCI, IPL, the league, the BCCI and the team and the game of cricket. Under this clause, very clearly, and there's a governing clause of betting that the BCCI laws provide for, if a member of an IPL team owner is caught betting, that we have suo moto right to cancel the agreement of that team, and that should be done right away if he is in fact booked for betting.
Lalit Modi, there's a clause 12.3.
If you can look at the
IPL, isn't there? There's a clause 12.3. There's a clause 12.3 of the what are you showing our viewers? I'm asking you about clause 12.3 of the IPL, which deals with termination, Mr. Modi. According to this clause, the BCCI IPL may terminate the agreement with the franchisee if 1, there is a change of control of the franchisee, B, if they transfer any material part of the business, but 3, most importantly, if the franchisee, any franchisee group company or any owner acts in any way which has a material adverse effect on the reputation of the IPL. Going by that logic, we have two pictures. One, we have first a set of passes which you put out which prove that Gurunath Mayappan is the owner of Chennai Super Kings, and then we have the clause of the IPL according to which if the owner does something which affects the IPL, then the contract with the team should be cancelled. By which logic, Mr. Lalit Modi, are you saying that the Chennai Super Kings should no longer exist because the owner of the Chennai Super Kings has compromised the IPL?
Very correctly so. They should not exist. The contract should be cancelled and Chennai should be re-auctioned to a new buyer immediately.
Lalit Modi, now joining the debate, Aslam Ghani.
I can't hear.
Is a member of the legal committee of the BCCI. And someone you know well, Mr. Lalit Modi, AC Muthaiya, former president of the Indian Cricket Board. Mr. Muthaiya, good evening.
I welcome both of them on the debate.
What a Friday night this is. Aslam Ghani.
Good evening, Arnab.
You have no defense tonight. Lalit Modi says he's proven that Gurunath Mayappan is lying about not being the team owner. And I have papers of IPL contract by
Along
which
with
if
N
somebody does
Srinivasan,
something
along
which
with N
brings adverse
Srinivasan.
disrepute to the IPL, then the franchise should be closed down. Mr. Aslam Ghani, tonight, will you close down the franchise? Do you have the courage? Do you have the guts? Do you have the ability? Do you have the fortitude to close down Chennai Super Kings? Mr. Aslam Ghani.
I won't say anything on this, Arnab, because this is not something which I have to do. There is some interpretation being placed on the basis of certain documents by Mr. Lalit Modi. Well, this can be seen, investigation is on, these all aspects can be looked into.
I don't know why you're being so dodgy today. Lalit Modi, the BCCI representative, he's on 4 or 5 committees of the BCCI, says he has no views. He has no views on the fact that according to the BCCI rules, tonight the Chennai Super Kings franchise should be closed down.
They're all rubber stamps. I'm very clear, and I'm making this on live television. They are all rubber stamps. They have got enough favors out of the BCCI president that they are rubber stamping everything that they're doing. And as such, they are his master's voice.
I was quite respectful to Modi, despite being a fugitive. Despite being a fugitive, I was quite respectful to him.
I am sorry.
But you know, the language he's using, I'm sorry
that the BCCI,
Modi. We had a good time at times, but the language you are using, I object to it. There is nothing personal. And nothing personal should be spoken by any participant.
Nothing personal against you.
No, please.
I have nothing personal against you.
No, you said it that there are. I am not.
The issue is that you
I'm just confining the truth.
I said that the BCCI members.
Lalit Modi is saying, no, Mr. Aslam Ghani, don't get worked up. You see, we have to make a point. Lalit Modi is saying, he's not saying you. He's saying people like you are rubber stamps. He's not saying you are a rubber stamp.
Please don't say that. Don't include me in that. Please don't include me in that.
Yes, Mr.
I know
Modi.
what Modi has been doing and what other people are doing in the BCCI. I know it. I know it.
But you need to speak out. You need to tell the truth. It is important to come clean now.
I have told you. You come clean. You come back to India and face the things here.
Don't worry about me. I am already coming clean, and I'm telling. I am not in the hiding. I have given the information. That is not your answer. Your answer is you are there now. Your answer is there. You are there now.
I would have told Mr. Arnab that I won't be participating in the debate.
Obviously, BCCI doesn't want to have any official of BCCI participate.
Who is harming this august body of BCCI? Whosoever it may be. I have got no brief of anyone.
Mr. Ghani, you are if you are on the committee of the BCCI.
We have been good friends when you are good.
I have no problem with you. You're not understanding my issue.
No, but you opened the Pandora.
Of a committee.
Lalit, you opened the Pandora. I never wanted. I was just referring to your things.
Why don't we let Dr. Muthaiya answer who's right or wrong in this debate? Dr. Muthaiya is there.
You know very well.
He's the past president.
He's the past president. It's now the turn of Mr. A.C. Muthaiya on the Newshour tonight. Mr. Muthaiya, Lalit Modi, don't mind. Don't mind it. I know you have a lot of problems with times now and you think you have too direct sometimes. Some people will say, Mr. Muthaiya,
tell you whether I'm right or wrong.
That the funniest thing is when Lalit Modi questions conflict of interest. When Lalit Modi talks about conflict of interest, then that's the funniest thing which can happen, because I remember that you, Mr. Muthaiya, had originally written to the BCCI to say that allowing India Cements to buy Chennai created a conflict of interest, but the board failed to respond to this complaint. This matter is sub judice, but it is pertinent to note that the BCCI, Mr. Muthaiya, did not look into the complaint. Did even Lalit Modi take a position at that point of time, Mr. Muthaiya?
Nobody took that stand. Right, I've been repeatedly saying this, but nobody took that stand, and now it's in court. and on 16th of July, it's posted for final disposal. So there is a clear conflict of interest, and because of the conflict of interest, the present president is not able to take any aggressive stand, because he's involved with CSK, he's involved with the board, he's involved with the TNCA. It's so shameful, and I'm really sad that this is happening to cricket. We're one of the prestigious boards in the world. We're respected all over, and today we stand completely under the cloud.
So Lalit Modi, it's all right to be sitting in London and passing judgment of conflict of interest, but you said nothing. You did nothing. You took no position when the issue of conflict of interest came up. Where were you, Lalit Modi, in 2009 when the BCCI sent an invitation to India Cements to participate in the auction conducted by IPL at a time when Mr. Srinivasan was honorary treasurer of the BCCI and president of the Tamil Nadu Cricket Association? Where were you, Mr. Modi?
Why don't you let me answer this? Okay, I will answer this question right now. Dr. Muthaiya is very knowledgeable of the fact that the matter is sub judice on one hand. On the other hand, we very well know that Srinivasan colluded with certain people to backdate the BCCI constitution, which was not known to me or to Dr. Muthaiya. But when I did come to know, and I spoke to Dr. Muthaiya, and I have provided him the information, and we have been working together to try and see that this information is gone on to the courts, and something is done about it. Please, Dr. Muthaiya, if you will please explain to them that.
No, the clause which said no administrator can have commercial interest was amended. That's what Lalit is meaning. Was amended to say this excludes T20. How can you accept it? This was the clause which was already present.
Backdated.
Yeah, that was done. That was amended, and it was passed in the general body by a majority.
It was not. No, if you remember, it was not passed. It wasn't passed. It was amended. It was done illegally. They amended it, and they did not even present it, and we came to know about it. You and I both know about it, and there is where the case lies. And the documentation was then unearthed by me and you together.
I challenge that.
That's right, and I support you on that.
Mr. Lalit Modi, please, Mr. Modi, you must be careful of what you say. You must be careful of what you say.
You being chairman of IPL and
you have to be very careful, because Mr. Modi, you went along with all of this, didn't you? And now I'd like to introduce into this panel Rahul Narvekar, senior advocate, Shiv Sena leader,
to say by this?
And Gulu Ezekiel, who has a question there for Lalit Modi. 1 second, Lalit. You know Gulu Ezekiel, senior journalist. He has a question for you, because the question tonight is of conflict of interest. And we are going to quiz you, Lalit Modi, on whether you have any right to be lecturing on conflict of interest sitting there in London. Gulu.
I have a couple of questions for Mr. Modi and also Mr. Muthaiya.
First, Mr. Modi, please.
Mr. Modi, you know, there seems to be a grey area of whether the constitution was amended surreptitiously, as Mr. Modi is stating, or whether it was done constitutionally by a two-thirds majority. After 5 years, this question has still not been resolved. But the fact is, the constitution was amended, and if at all it was done surreptitiously or by two-thirds majority, does that mean that the board was just turning a blind eye for 3 years? Because Mr. Modi was commissioner and
vice president of the BCCI.
Vice president of the BCCI and commissioner of the IPL, also known as the father of the IPL in 2008, 2009, 2010, he was removed by the BCCI and moved to London. So those 3 years when CSK was taking part, was it taking part as an illegal entity?
Let me just answer that question directly to you. When you do something that is backdated and done in collusion, it, and one never hears about it. You're carrying on doing your work about it. When we did come to know about it, it was only when Dr. Muthaiya had filed the application, and we looked into the documentation, and he and I have been in touch on this issue from the day one. It's not from today. We have been in touch on this on day one. And point is that he is already taking action, and I supported his action from day one.
No, then it is negligence.
You're saying Lalit Modi, you didn't know till it went to court? You saying till it went to court, you had no idea about it?
Because the documentation of how the Constitution was amended, I did not know. I wasn't even there in the meeting, so I wouldn't even know who passed it.
1 second.
Oh, no.
1 second.
No, Lalit,
Vice President of
please,
BCCI.
no.
Were you Vice President of BCCI?
Lalit,
Were you
don't
Vice
say
President of BCCI when Mr. Srinivasan? Were you Vice President of BCCI when Mr. Srinivasan on behalf of India Cements Limited participated in the auction and was awarded the franchise of IPL rights for ownership of Chennai Super Kings by the BCCI?
In 2008.
Were you Vice President of the BCCI?
I was there.
Yes or no?
I was there
Yes or
at that point in time. But by that, yes, I was there at that point of time. Please understand, I didn't run the BCCI. There were many powers in the BCCI. I only was.
What are you lecturing about?
I am lecturing about the fact.
If you were there,
I'm lecturing about the fact.
Sorry. You see, my problem with this entire mess, Lalit.
But I accept.
Lalit Modi,
Why don't you listen to me?
Listen, people fall out, everybody takes high moral positions. I want to know, when you were all in it thick together, what moral positions did you take?
I've never taken a high moral position. I've been right there and then all along. I, in fact, had press conferences every day. I answered every question while I was in power. I answered everybody whenever an issue arises. In the last 3 years, whenever an issue has arisen, has anybody bothered to even take it up? Now you're pointing back that I was there and I allowed it to happen. By the way, I was the one who conceived the league single-handedly, created it and implemented it. Now there are powers within the BCCI which Dr. Muthaiya understands, and everybody out there standing understands. You can't run the ship by yourself. There are other people along that you got to carry along at the times. And as far as Srinivasan is concerned, I have been critical about him from day one, not from now.
Mr. Lalit Modi, tonight there are two sets of questions. I want to make one thing clear, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not here. The issue tonight is not Lalit Modi. For once, Lalit Modi, you can be sure.
You always make it Lalit Modi. Why don't we move on to what the problem is happening out there?
And we are here tonight to talk about
there now.
But Mr. Modi, you started it all, and so you're going to have to answer a few questions. Now there are two parts
I started it all. I was very proud of starting it.
The other thing
very proud of what I started.
About fixing. My question is, Lalit Modi, one minute. The question is tonight, Lalit Modi is on Newshour, and I put this question to everyone. Did fixing and betting get invented after Lalit Modi went away to the United Kingdom? Lalit Modi, you would have us believe that fixing and betting was invented by some dodgy characters who you kept under check while you were there, and they all came to the surface after you went. I would like to believe that, Mr. Modi. But try as I may, I cannot.
Which you already answered yourself.
Try as I may, I cannot. Rahul Narvekar, do you believe that?
Well, Arnab, at the outset, let me thank your channel for finally getting Mr. Modi in front of the Indian cricket lovers, who probably have a lot of grudge against him and he has much to answer. And finally, they may get some respite through your channel. Mr. Modi alleging that there are irregularities in the BCCI and currently the chairman and other people who are handling this whole organization is like calling the kettle calling the pot black. And in any event, Mr. Modi, you are just seeing the fruits of the seeds which you have sown. Therefore, before you point fingers at everyone here, you need to come here, answer a lot of questions, face investigation, and then take this moral high ground. Therefore, Mr. Modi, it's an earnest request to you that if you want to seriously have a closure to this issue, you have a lot of answers to give, you have a lot of replies to give, and therefore, it would be best if you face investigation first before you point fingers at others. So, Mr. Modi, we hope that you will soon come to India, sort this out so that we can have the game going as smooth as possible.
Let him reply now.
Number two,
I said the
I see the whole problem. I see the whole problem of the crux of this problem being the independence or that has been given to the BCCI. The BCCI needs to be regulated. At the end of the day, this is a board that is representing the nation, and therefore it is the esteem of the nation that is at stake. And therefore this false autonomy that has been given to BCCI, which Mr. Lalit Modi himself has been defending for years together and asking for years together, that is something that needs to be stopped right away if we want to have things flowing smoothly with cricket in India.
I give Mr. Modi a chance to reply.
Are you sure you won't interrupt me when I'm replying? First and foremost, I joined the BCCI after a long fight in 2005, December. When I joined the BCCI, along with a new team, we went out diligently trying to do a good job, and we did a great job. I raised over 47,000 crores for the BCCI in a period of 5 years. Secondly, we went out there diligently trying to launch a new league. It was never conceived. I conceived it, I built it, and I ran it. There were always issues. We moved along, we modified, and we kept moving along. It was a new concept. It was never done before. The IPL was a league that has been conceived looking at work that has been done by many leagues around the world. And I always said we got to innovate and we got to move forward. And the combination and the principle that the ICL is built upon is quite different from all other leagues. There are elements of the EPL, there are the elements of the NFL, there are elements of MLB. There are many elements that we put together to make a model that works going forward. And I always said that we need to evolve
Let's
and
go to
keep
brass
going.
tacks, Mr. Modi. Mr. Modi, if you're going to give us the long story of all the good that you have done, you're not going to answer the question. So I'm going to help you go to the question. You made a lot of money. You turned around a lot of money. You like to talk in terms of why have I lost the link there with Mr. Lalit Modi. Let's try and get that up. We will get Mr. Modi back. But the fundamental question tonight is this, that if Lalit Modi had put in so much money and so much effort, then why did he turn down an offer of 1.5 million only from the ICC anti-corruption unit to set up an anti-corruption board? Isn't that the real question? When he was spending so much money, he refused to give 7 crores to the anti-corruption unit.
You see, Arnab, Mr. Modi is in a very comfortable position sitting thousands of miles away in London because as the father of the IPL, whenever there's some good news from the IPL, Mr. Modi tweets that he is responsible for it and he takes credit for it. But whenever the bad news comes out, then he points fingers at other people. Now, you know, you can't have it both ways. You can't take credit for success and pass the buck when there's problems crop up. And as for this, $1.5 million which the ICC anti-corruption unit was asking for their services, Mr. Modi can tell us what is the budget for the match parties?
Mr. Modi, we've lost the line with him. Before I go back to Mr. Modi, our viewers will remember the pictures on your screen there are pictures of Gurunath Mayappan being taken in. As of this minute, he's been questioned there by the top bosses of the Mumbai crime branch. Well, joining the debate right now, of course, let's get them on your screen. Mihir Bose, thanks for joining us. I don't know why Lalit Modi left very quickly. I was hoping he'd stay back to answer a few more questions at least. Atul Vasan, thanks very much for joining us again. Rahul Narvekar, let's go back to the point that we were making. Mihir Bose, Lalit Modi was on the panel just before you made a few points, but we couldn't get to ask him a fundamental question over betting and fixing. I hope he comes back. Mihir Bose, do you think right now, tonight, too much of an attempt is being made by cricket bosses to draw a line between betting, which is seen to be innocent, and fixing, which is seen to be the real problem? Going by that logic, if the Chennai Super Kings boss, Gurunath Mayappan, who's being questioned as of this minute, is betting, some BCCI bosses would like to pass that off as innocent activity.
Well, in India, it can't be an innocent activity. It could be an innocent activity in Britain, where I'm talking to you from. In India, all betting, apart from racetrack betting, is illegal. So therefore, by its very nature, if you're betting with somebody who is not sanctioned, who must be therefore a gangster of some sort, or an underworld character, or somebody in the margins of society. So you cannot have, okay, I'm not saying that because he's bet, he has fixed a match. That may be the next step, or it may not be the next step. But the question is, if you do not bet on a racetrack on a horse, then you are doing something illegal.
Well, in that case, does betting constitute, Atul Vasan, does betting constitute doing something? If a team owner is betting, in your view, does it constitute doing something which has an adverse effect on the reputation of the IPL, BCCI?
Definitely. I think you've got it right this time, Arnab. Betting per se is one of the lesser evils around us. It's like some people would say it's like jumping a red light. You're doing something illegal, but everybody does it. It's fine. But for somebody as close as the principal of the team, indulging in even betting, and we are not even sure what betting has led to, whether he was fixing or not, which time will tell us. So I think morally, ethically, criminally, I think it's totally something which has been done, and by association the president is also
we've been after this
answerable.
Atul, what's happening right now is this, that the Chennai Super Kings, and Boria, welcome to the panel. I wanted to make you face to face with Lalit Modi, but I think he's gone away. I don't know why he's gone away. He says he doesn't want to be on this panel. I don't know what is wrong with this panel. Mr. Lalit Modi should come back and face the panel and the people of this country. We may not give him soft, underhand deliveries, but it's time he takes a few bouncers from us as well. Yes, Atul?
Yeah, I'm not surprised, because you can't run with the hare and hunt with the hounds and come out like
the fundamental question is this, Atul, and I'm going to if the Chennai Super Kings super boss, Mr. Srinivasan, is saying that his son is not part of the critical management, he's not CEO or he's not team principal of Chennai Super Kings. Why is he saying so? Why is he saying so today? Boria, why do you think he's saying so?
In one word, he's corrupt. That's why he's saying so. In one simple word, in 20 minutes he changes his Twitter thing, as Times now has conclusively put out with both grabs. From principal, he becomes something like an honorary member. Now, in my book, that's corruption. In my book, that's running away from the cricket fan. In my book, that's letting the cricket fan down once again. In my book, that's cheating. I think I've written a history of Indian cricket. Lalit Modi not being part of the panel. I was hearing the Newshour Debate. I think I need to write a new chapter. Lalit Modi lecturing us on issues of morality and propriety. Look, it's stinking. Lalit Modi talking about morality and propriety. Gurunath Mayappan changing his Twitter handle to completely take the cricket fan for a ride and hoodwink all of us. Mr. Srinivasan remaining silent. At every instant, every second, the game of cricket is being raped. I was hearing Dr. Muthaiya, and I can only echo his sentiments. It gives me great pain, and I feel disheartened that when the IPL semi-final is going on in Calcutta, we are actually talking about the death of this competition. We are about to write an epitaph, and it's all dead. Believe me, it is stinking. And for some jokers, for some corrupt officials, and for some people who have no moral fiber whatsoever.
And the test of that moral fiber will be whether they can implement 12.3. Aslam Ghani, the test of your moral fiber in the BCCI will be whether you can apply the same rules that you wrote on yourself. Can you apply the rule 12.3 on yourself today? Or are the BCCI rules also meant to be torn up and put into dustbins? You're a lawyer, Mr. Aslam Ghani. Tell me, 12.3 means what? What does 12.3 mean in this context?
Will you allow me to speak? I have been very patiently listening to the whole thing. Look, Arnab, I think the debate should have been little different, little different than the character assassination and making statements before the investigation comes out with something. You have just now shown that Guru has been taken in, let the things come out.
What is 12.3?
Please listen to me. 12.3. You just know. You just know. You just now read
the BCCI IPL into adverse reputation. Then the person's
problem is Arnab, you don't allow other person to speak.
Why does this not apply to Chennai
Arnab, you don't allow other person to speak.
Why?
You see, what is it that, listen, what is it? You are getting it in number 3. 3 number is that sub-rule 3 is that if any owner gets disrepute to the game, there where you want to cover it, Arnab. Now, so, if you want to cover there, you have got 3 situations. One, you have one situation that what I am coming to know through your channel. One, that a statement coming from the president that Guru has got nothing to do with Chennai Super King. Now let the police is looking to it. If he has got something to do with it, that will come out before you.
No,
let us not jump. What?
You believe that?
I got no personal knowledge about it.
Chennai Super Kings. You believe that?
I got no knowledge about it.
Deniability is being built.
Listen, please. I got
being built. A deliberate line of deniability is being built, Mr. Aslam Dhoni. Why is he principal of Chennai Super Kings till yesterday? And why is he not principal of Chennai Super Kings? Tell me, why is the boss of a team yesterday and not the boss of a team today? Please tell me, YP Singh, what is the reason for this?
I think will you allow me to speak?
Let me explain. A company is a juristic entity.
The point is, Arnab, this is no way. You are putting a question to me, and you don't allow a person to answer. That's no way. Yeah, this is echoing all thing.
Listen. No, 1 second. 1 second, Mr. Aslam Dhoni. Mr. Aslam Dhoni, first of all,
yes.
I want to tell you...
Put a straight question, Arnab. Put a straight question.
There is no reason to get worked up about these questions. There is no reason to lose your temper every day on television. I am asking you the question...
I am not losing temper, Arnab. I am so passionately listening to everything. I am not losing temper.
And every day this aggression...
Because you don't allow anybody to answer politely. One has to shout on your channel. What is to be done? You don't allow anybody to answer politely.
Let YP Singh answer.
A company is...
No, I have to answer. You are putting a question. Put me a question, I'll answer.
Kishore Bhimani, welcome to
Put me a question, I'll answer.
Let me put forward my point.
Put me a question and I'll answer.
A company is a lifeless juristic entity which is represented by its employees, by its directors, or by the people whom they give power through the power of attorney. Now, it is more than clear that that Mayappan was representing India Cements. This is the legal position, and it is also a very specific legal position that that a master is responsible for the servant. Here the master was India Cements. The servant, if at all he was, or perhaps the part owner, that is Mayappan. So legally he was representing India Cements. His deeds are, the company has to take all responsibility for the deeds he has been doing. So legally this is the position. In fact, most of the prosecutions of companies which happen for the misdeeds done by their servants or by the nominees. So I don't think Mr. Srinivasan can escape this position, and since he is the major functionary in India Cements, he has to be prosecuted for any wrong which his servant or his attorney has done. And at the same time, if he is held accountable and if there is a civil liability going to him, it has to be owned up by him as per the subclause 3. It is more than clear that it is India Cements who has to owe up responsibility for the acts done by Mayappan, and therefore they have to lose their franchisee.
My question is to you, Kishore Bhimani. All this entire week, through this entire last week, you've been defending the BCCI. You've been saying that, while you've been defending the IPL, you've been saying there is nothing fundamentally wrong with the format, it is entertainment.
I have not been defending anyone. If you just give me, will you give me 1 minute patient hearing?
You only said that the problem is you legalize betting, all problems will be over. 1 minute. 1 minute. In your view, is Chennai Super Kings trying to lie its way out of the present
That's not
situation
defending
right
the BCCI. I'm sorry, I'm not defending either the BCCI or the IPL. If you give, I beg of you to give me 1 minute's patient hearing. And all I will tell you is, you began the debate by saying betting on the one side, match fixing on the other. Let me tell you one thing. A voice of reason, Mihir Bose started off early by saying that in India, the only betting allowed is that on the race course. Absolutely correct. For my sins, I have been a steward, which is the top of the heap, for 5 years at the Calcutta race course. The rule of the International Jockey Club, the international rule is a steward, although it's a gambling game, racing, a steward is not allowed to bet. Now, a steward's son, my son comes to the races with me sometimes, and he's not allowed to bet for the simple reason that it gives a wrong notion that he may have some inside information. What has happened here in this case with Mr. Srinivasan is that if Mr. Srinivasan's son-in-law, call him owner, call him anything at all, it does not matter whether he is an owner or a silent spectator. He is the son-in-law of Mr. Srinivasan. If he is losing 1 crore of rupees...
No, is betting legal? Is betting legal? Is betting legal? Don't tell me about what the future should be. Don't tell me about what the future should be.
Let me finish.
No, is betting legal?
If he has inside information...
No, is betting legal? There are no degrees of morality
in it. Of course it's not legal.
Bimani,
but
there are
I just told you, I agreed with Mihir, just told you
that some forms of betting are okay. If franchise owners bet it's wrong,
legal,
others it's okay. Can you make that
argument? Even if it were legal, there is an acute conflict of interest.
IPL match, it will also be illegal. So the question in actually what makes it... yeah, the real problem here is, Kishore is right in that sense that it becomes insider information, you see. And that is where the Mayappan and Srinivasan case, if it all unravels, makes it, much more serious than you or me putting a 10 rupee bet. That's where the insider information issue comes in. As Kishore was saying, as a steward in a race club where betting is legal, a steward nor his relatives can place bets. So if that's the case...
No, I'm saying it's all mixed up. Atul Vasan is also not...
There's a lot of hair splitting that is going on.
It's all mixed up.
There's a lot of hair splitting that is going on. And Mihir and Kishore have both placed their cards on the table, and it's absolutely true that betting is illegal outside the race club, period.
No, why is there so much hair splitting? Because people are afraid of being caught, Atul Vasan. People are afraid of being caught.
Yeah, you're right,
so people are saying we must draw fine lines of divide between match fixing, spot fixing, session fixing,
Arnab, can I come in here?
Betting,
Arnab,
mega betting, micro betting, and
fixing. Can I come in here?
You're right.
So, this is precisely what is happening, Atul Vasan. Am I right or wrong?
Arnab, can I come in here?
Yeah, you're right. I think you and me have been cynics long enough to know that utopia does not exist. You see all kind of exercise being done by trying to disassociate yourself with the guy in trouble, And I think it's foolhardy of us to really expect such a powerful, connected guy to just at the first hint of trouble roll over and die. I mean, you gotta go down with a bit of fight, and all those things which are in my hand, I would try and do. And this IPL and all this premise of your show, everybody knew this was too good a thing for evils to be away. We know the sex in the sleeves will be there. We know racketeering is there in doling out contracts, hiring of commentators, the production companies. And we thought that once we got rid of Lalit Modi, it's going to be over. No, it's not. The only thing which is hurting right now is that the players, which were sacrosanct, and we thought that, okay, everything we can handle and let it be, but only the players should be kept. And now that is a murky thing, and that is what is hurting us, and that is why we have been at it for last 8 days. So now I feel that if the police is after us, let them do their job, let them go after it, and at least give us peace of mind.
It doesn't change with a person, Atul Vasan. Atul Vasan, it does not change with a person.
Can I come in, please?
We were gullible
it only got
we
worse.
were made to feel that
goes,
this was the problem with IPL.
Comes in or somebody else comes in, what's the guarantee it's going to improve?
We can live happily
There's no guarantee. The system is corrupt. Yes, Mihir Bose.
The problem is the system.
Arnab, can I make a point?
Arnab, can I come in? Arnab, can I come in, please? Yeah, I'm amazed at this debate that is going on. Has nobody in India read the Mahabharata? What was the Mahabharata? That was a bet. That was an illegal match fixing. Who in this story is Duryodhana and who in this story is Yudhishthira? The fact is, betting in any form outside racing is illegal, and the BCCI shows that there is no strict lines of authority. The fact that the chairman of the BCCI can have his son-in-law involved in cricket, that he can own a franchise, is by its very nature very suspect. And the fact that it's been allowed to carry on shows the lack of morality in the way corporate India operates. And that is the basic question.
Arnab, can I make a point, please? Can I please make a point?
Why do you call it corporate India? It's a cabal.
Arnab,
It's not corporate India, it's a cabal.
Make a point?
This is the cabal which allowed the rules to be changed. This is the cabal which took on Mr. Maya, who's on the program. This is the cabal which allowed conflict of interest. This is the cabal which turned a blind eye when Guru Nath was made team principal 2009. And this is the same cabal which is now allowing Chennai Super Kings to say that no, Guru Nath is not even the team principal. He's not even involved with the team. Yes, Moria.
Arnab, Arnab, you have conclusively proved today with your visuals that Guru Nath Mayappan was with his father-in-law. Okay? Now, who is Guru Nath Mayappan? He is a CSK official. He has been labelled certain charges. Who was he meeting in the afternoon? His father-in-law or the BCCI chief? Now, is that not a question of propriety? Who was Mr. Srinivasan meeting? His son-in-law or somebody who has been accused in the match-fixing case? Would Mr. Srinivasan have met Bindu Dara Singh? Would he have met Srishant? Would he have met any other person? Is this not a question of moral propriety? Is this not a question of morality? You know what? Today is a very interesting day in Indian cricket. Lalit Modi comes and lectures us on morality. Mr. Srinivasan, who kept on saying gentleman's game, and gave 25 interviews, conspicuously silent for the last 76 hours. CSK tom-tomming Guru Nath as the principal and owner, suddenly changing his profile because of Times Now expose. And finally, the BCCI not saying a single word about this whole issue of Mr. Srinivasan trying to defend his son and meeting him till about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You must say the IPL brand has taken a hit beyond repair. It is sullied and damaged. And you and I, the cricket fan, has been hoodwinked and taken for a ride, a jolly good ride at that.
Mr. Muthaiya, I know you're fighting your own legal case.
Yeah.
But tell me, you've been in the system and out. No, 1 second. You've been president of the Indian Cricket Board. You've seen the system. Mr. Muthaiya, does this system have the will to change? Does this system have the will to change, or is it a self-help group?
I don't think right now they have the will to change. If they had the will to change, Mr. Srinivasan should have owned moral responsibility and stepped down till all the probe is over. As my friend just now said,
absolutely correct.
He's conveniently changing sides. One day he says Guru Mayappan is the principal, the other day he's no more the principal, he's only an honorary member or something like that. All this is not acceptable. I mean, this is why I've challenged it right from the beginning when he was treasurer about this conflict of interest, and at last the case is coming up on the 16th of July, and I wouldn't like to comment much on that. But on the betting front, although it is illegal in India, even if it is legalized, the insiders, like my friend said about stewards are not allowed. I've also been into racing. I've been the chairman of the Madras Turf Club. See, the stewards and their relatives should not be involved in betting. It is matter of ethics. You are privy to a lot of information, and how can you be involved in betting? So that prohibition should be there. The insiders should not be allowed to bet. And on fixing, you know my views on fixing and how stern action I took at that time, and after that everything was relaxed. So unless you are bent to take stern action on fixing, this will go on and on like this. See, that time when I took that stern action, everyone internationally, presidents of different boards in Australia, South Africa, everyone sent me messages, and it has gone on record that India is the only country which has taken a robust action. And it is on record to say that. But now what has happened in India is so shameful of what is happening in India today, and I am very much pained.
Precisely. Listen to all this, Mr. Aslam Ghani. Listen to all this very keenly, Atul Vasan, because you've been defending the board as well. I mean, tonight it's been one full week. I don't think after this, people will forgive you, Mr. Aslam Ghani, or the board of which you are such a proud member and you get so many benefits from. People of this country are not going to forgive you if you think that you're so arrogant that you can get away with anything. So, Mr. Aslam Ghani, my question is to you tonight,
one point,
which I started out with,
I have one point,
and I think I want to close on this particular point. Do you think, Mr. Aslam Ghani, you and other members of the BCCI have... Yes, Mr. Mutai, you're saying something, Mr. Mutai? Yes.
Yeah. You see, what the BCCI should do now is, you have a number of stalwarts. You have Arun Jaitley, you have the Chief Minister, the former Chief Minister of J&K. You have all great stalwarts on the board. Why are they not calling an emergency board meeting, working committee meeting, and take a decision? They should call for an emergency board meeting at this time, because this becomes, it's become tremendous disrepute to the board has happened. So this is the time when they should all wake up and call for a meeting.
Why is everyone
and take
watching?
Prompt action.
Precisely. Why are they all watching for this to come down like a pack of cards? Why are they watching?
Exactly.
Why are they watching this continue? What more? How many more exposés would you need, Mr. Ghani? I'm asking you this with all sincerity. You're a member of the board, but you're also answerable to the people of this country. What are you waiting for? What more do you want?
And will you please hear for a while without interruption? See, Arnab, the point I was conveyed today that you are holding the debate on is the betting and fixing what I was told, but here I feel that it's more of personal things and more of personal interest on the point. I tell you, see, if you see the law in India is, there is one Public Gambling Act, which is the initial act, which is a very old act, and this act only makes an offence to of a person who runs on somebody's behalf a gambling house. Then we got the online betting. Online betting.
No, I'm sorry. I really think, Mr. Ghani, no, I'm really tired of these super technical arguments. No, it's a lie. I'm telling you.
No,
do you believe Chennai Super Kings, Gurunath is not the team owner? No, is Gurunath the team owner or not? No, you are a member of the BCCI.
I don't know, he's not.
This pass which I have shows Gurunath is the team owner. Is he the team owner or not?
No. I don't know. I got nothing to do with IPL. I don't know who's team owner. I don't know.
The BCCI chief's company saying he's not the team owner. What is accreditation which I'm holding designates him as the Chennai Super Kings team owner?
What is with you, Arnab? Please, then you say that you lose cool. What is with you, Arnab, to show that he's team owner? What is with you to show? Why are you making a fallacious point?
What is with you to show? If somebody is saying that he's not,
if somebody is saying he's not,
IPL pass shows he's the team owner.
Please, see, it is not fair. Give me evidence. Give me evidence.
Of the Chennai Super Kings team or not?
Please listen.
Today, India Cements is saying he's not the principal of the Chennai Super Kings. Everywhere is identified
I want to make
as the
a point
principal
before
of the
you,
Chennai
Arnab.
Super Kings.
I want to make a point before you, Arnab.
I am asking you this. Let's get one second. Mr. Ghani, Rahul Narvekar. Rahul, there can't be two versions of the truth. This is a classic situation that there is an attempt to draw a line today between Gurunath and Chennai Super Kings. And you are a mute witness.
The answer to your
this
question.
attempt to draw a line between Gurunath and Chennai Super Kings, thinking you'll pull wool over
The answer to your question is very simple. The answer is convenient. When it was convenient for Mr. When it was.
You don't want to hear anything which is reasonable. You just want to hear Ipsy Dixie. You just want to hear.
I have listened to you, Rahul Narvekar. Go ahead.
The answer to your question is very simple. The answer is convenience. When it was convenient for Mr. Srinivasan to draw himself out of the controversy of there being a conflict of interest, he said, I am not the owner, my son-in-law is the owner. Today when he sees his son-in-law in a spot, he says, my son-in-law has nothing to do with this team. I'm just amazed to see that a person who has nothing to do with the team goes for auctions and selects players. It's really strange to see how CSK functions.
This cannot be done in one day. This cannot be done in this must be on the
This has not been done in one day. This has happened overnight. This has happened in a couple of hours.
Paper. No. How come? I don't take
Till yesterday, we had people saying on record, he's the principal of the team.
Closing comments, YP Singh. Closing comments, YP Singh clearly.
People saying who have no knowledge, who have no knowledge, who are just an
trouble. It does not want any of that trouble to come upon itself. 1 second, YP Singh, Boria, I'll come back to you. You see, please don't try and pull wool over people's eyes.
Please, Arnab, please listen to me.
This is not the India of 1993. You know, when you had a free run of the Indian Cricket Board and nobody was answerable to you. This country has changed.
The law is very clear.
You want to sit in that chair and be BCCI technical committee that you're going to have to answer these questions.
The law is very clear. The law is very clear. Company by itself is a lifeless entity, but the company is held responsible by the acts done by its servants or nominees. Now, if he was working for the CSK, it is Gurunath who is responsible for that. And if the India Siemens divorces itself from Gurunath, it is something they can never get away with it. There are hundreds and hundreds of prosecutions which are going on for the companies for the deeds done by their nominees or by their servants, and therefore under any circumstance India Siemens cannot come out for it. It is a gimmick. It was a game plan to bluff the credible people of our country, but fortunately people of the country are wise and they will not accept such fake gimmicks being done by Srinivasan and his company.
How many people are watching today the semi-final in Calcutta?
Arnab, 20 seconds.
They love the game, not Srinivasan for sure.
Yes, Boria.
Mr. Boria is much shocked about the viewers. Ask Mr. Boria that how many people have been watching the IPL today in the semi-final.
Yeah, they are cricket lovers. They are not Srinivasan lovers.
Don't be arrogant about that. Don't reflect that arrogance, Mr. Aslam.
Despite the fraud,
don't show that arrogance. Don't show that arrogance. How many people are watching? Don't show that arrogance. Are you saying that just...
I am not saying arrogance. I am telling you a fact, Mr. Boria. You have been crying at the top of your voice.
I'll answer that.
I am telling you a fact.
I'll answer that. Why don't you? I'll answer that.
I am telling you a fact. If you have chosen to be aware, this is what Honorable Supreme Court said. Honorable Supreme Court said the petitioner that if you are so unhappy with IPL, don't watch IPL. He told him. That is the order of the Honorable Supreme Court.
Mr. Goni, I am answering both. I am answering both your questions. Arnab, Mr. Goni first asked you, how do you know? How do you know? Hold on.
You cannot make such big allegations. You know, let investigation reveal everything. Whatever comes out.
No, what allegation?
You are not a super investigator. I am not. Arnab is not. Investigation is going on. They are sitting inside.
Mr. Goni,
the questioning is going on. Questioning is going on.
Mr. Goni asked you, how do we know? Mr. Goni asked you, how do you know that Mr. Mayappan is the principal of Chennai Super Kings? How do we know he's the owner? You and I don't know. The accreditation wasn't given to him by Times Now. It was given to him by the BCCI. It was given to him by the BCCI, so you better know. It was given to him by the BCCI, of which you are a member.
You are talking like a representative of Times Now.
It was given to Mr. Mayappan by the BCCI.
I don't know, that must be your personal knowledge. I don't have any knowledge about it. That must
It
be
is
your
on
personal knowledge,
it is
Mr.
on your
Moria, that
screen.
what has been given to time,
It is
what has
on,
not been given to time.
not at all. Not at all.
Before
It is on your
before I
screen.
wrap up,
It is on your screen.
Mr. Aslam Ghani, you are Mr. Aslam Ghani. Mr. Aslam Ghani, this is an interesting program. I just want 1 second,
Yes,
gentlemen. Please,
very interesting.
it's a Friday evening. We've been investigating the story and talking about it for some time.
I know, you know,
you see,
because
Mr.
of that,
Ghani,
I'm
you are a
always
much more
at your
experienced
beck and
man,
call, Arnab.
man of great experience. I am not. But let me say this. You know what happens when you lie once, you end up lying again. Then you lie a second time, then you have to lie 5 more times.
Who's
And then eventually you tie yourself up in knots. My sincerest advice to the Chennai Super Kings and Srinivasan and Gurunath is, if you messed up, if you made a mistake, don't try and clean it up.
Don't indulge in
Don't try and pretend today that people will believe everything that you put out. They will ask the questions. Yes, Atul, who's tying themselves up in knots? Atul, the BCCI,
I've heard a lot
Mayappan, Srinivasan, Bindu, or who else?
But I must say that, you know, the most sane and coherent voice on the show today was Mr. Muthaiya. You know, and I'm glad that you allowed him to finish what he had to say. And he had a lot of good points. You know, we all know that it would have been the higher moral ground if the head honchos of CSK and the board and
Mr. Muthaiya is a party with Mr. Muthaiya.
Till the time the inquiry was going on, because we know there is some fire, the smoke is coming out. So we're not saying that who is right and wrong this time, you know, and it's going to be permanent. If tomorrow, after this inquiry comes out and it's found that there is nothing wrong with what Mr. Mayappan was doing, they can always reinstate it. The world is not going to end. So you're right. I mean, we expect utopia is not there. Till the time person, you know, wakes up and smells the coffee and realizes that he's sending wrong signals to be in the helm and trying to control things, which is looking bad at this point. And it would have been better if we can just step aside for some time and let things cool down and see where it goes. And then the board and the working committee can take a decision whether what was wrong and right. And you know, the points are clearly written down. If you have not been on the straight and narrow, you've got to pay the price for it.
Yes, yes. Whosoever is there, he has to pay price for it.
Gentlemen, we will not agree. I know that. But when every side is angry with you,
why are you so sure about not
when people take tough
agreeing?
questions and they walk out of your show and others avoid, I think we at times now are doing something right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Muthaiya. It's great to see you after a long time. Wish you best of luck in your own cases as well.